Hey guys, what's going on? This is Josh from Spotted Euros, and today we will talk about the coolest feature of our $1,800 Touareg V8. Now, don't worry about this. The engine, the motor on this is still no good. But in this video, like I said, we're going to talk about what I think is the coolest feature to this V8. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so if you're new to the channel, this right here is our $1,800 Volkswagen Touareg V8. We picked this up in Seattle. It was a huge saga, huge adventure, but basically this Touareg still needs a couple repairs. So if you missed any of that, if you care to see more on this 2005 Volkswagen Touareg, go ahead and go back to some of the previous videos because it's pretty good stuff. So before we get into the coolest feature on this Touareg, do me a favor and hit subscribe. For those who have already done it, I thank you, and just bear with me for another 20 seconds. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. The last video did really well. I thank you guys. I think we ended up with like 35 subscribers in one day. That's pretty good. So let's see if we can beat it in this video. This Touareg right here is equipped with the air suspension. If you ask me, if you're getting one of these earlier Touaregs, the air suspension is what you want. So the air suspension offers just a couple of things that make this really nice. One, you can adjust the ride height. You can actually pick whether you want a softer or a sportier ride inside, and guess what? It actually makes a difference. So the coolest feature to these early Touaregs is the air suspension. Air suspension has always been, thanks to Land Rover, has always been kind of a taboo, kind of a feature that nobody really wanted, but Volkswagen actually nailed it down. I have owned this Touareg, it's got air, but my main experience was from a previous Touareg. I had this pretty much the same thing for a couple of years. Once again, if you're interested in that, how that worked out, I even have a video reviewing the 2.5 years that I actually owned that car. So that car had air suspension. I towed with it all over the place. So like I said, if you're asking me which suspension you should get, it's definitely the air, and I wish they offered the air suspension in the newer Touaregs. Anyway, let's get on to the topic of this video. Okay, so we are talking about the air suspension right here, but that's not really what I'm wanting to focus on. But here are the controls. Here's where you can select raise and lower, and then here in the center is where you can actually select if you want a comfort, sport, or auto, kind of adjust between the two based off of your speed. But the real thing I want to talk about is actually this. This is Volkswagen's onboard air system. So the suspension itself is air control. And the cool thing about it is they actually provide from the factory an air hose that you can actually use to air up your tires, air up really anything you want. So I really think this is the coolest feature, and in this video we're going to talk about how to use this because there's not that much info out there and it's really not that complicated. So what you need to do, first step, is locate and find your air hose. Hopefully you still have it. These are older, 2005. At this point they might have ran off on you, but hopefully you still have the air hose. Okay, so the next step is actually to come up here on the passenger side, and you just need to locate this little plug right here. This little plug in the front. You take this off, it's pretty easy, and just set it to the side. Now at this point, that is your air connection. So that is where you're going to plug this air hose in with this side right here. It's pretty easy. It should just screw on. You place it in, screw it on until it's tight. Just like that, and there you go. Now the hose itself is kind of funny to deal with, but that's not really the point. Once you untangle that, then you have the nozzle itself. Now this just screws on the end to the valve stem, And then it actually even shows you PSI. Now what you definitely need is to have the Touareg turned on. So let's turn this on. Okay, don't mind the misfire. It's not normal, but just don't mind it. I mean, I don't mind it. Okay, so the car is running. You've got the air hose, pretty easy. And now you just find the valve stem. And you lose the cap. But it just screws on. Okay, so there you go. I mean, that's not much to it. You basically pull the little handle and it starts filling up with air. Now if you hit this, you can hear the air pump running in the background, and surprisingly this fills up pretty quick. So we started at 30 and we're already at 40. So this is no weak system. This actually can air stuff up pretty quick. Now this is definitely what I think is the coolest thing. The air suspension, one, but then two, having this air hose is pretty cool. You don't have to worry about airing up your tires because you can always just do it. It's no big deal. There was a time I went to the beach. I had a travel trailer. I was driving on the beach. It was a lot of fun, and I actually had the ability to take out some of the air of the tires, and then once we were done back on the pavement, I filled them back up. Okay guys, that's it. That's the video. Short and sweet. I know before I had one of these Touaregs, was always curious of exactly how this worked. This air hose works. It's real simple. All you really need to know is where your air hose is, and then where you plug in everything else. I mean, pretty much anyone could figure it out. So let me know what you guys think. Now, here's the thing. Do me a favor and hit subscribe. Stay tuned for Monday. Stay tuned for next week, because we're doing this 3 videos a week. No matter what it takes, I'm gonna put out the videos. So hopefully everyone can hit subscribe and we can make it to 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for watching.